If you've ever said, I don't even know why I went back to porn, that's not a lack of discipline. It's simply a nervous system issue. Porn isn't just about sex. It's about stimulation, regulation, and conditioning. And we're going to talk about all of that and what your nervous system has to do with any of this here in this episode, so stick around. Before we jump in, I do want to thank our sponsor of this episode, which is Inovo Counseling and Wellness. They are a Utah-based clinic. I was about to say here in Utah. Of course they are. They specialize in sex addiction, betrayal trauma, self-worth, and lie detection. And so if you are struggling with things like addiction, or you have a spouse who is involved in things like pornography addiction, or really any type of addiction in general where there's any type of betrayal involved, then Inovo is going to be the clinic for you. Or if you're struggling with any marital issues in general, or things like depression, anxiety, OCD, then Inovo is also going to be a great resource there. So don't hesitate to reach out, and yes, I am one of the therapists here at Inovo. Surprise! So if you do want to schedule, you can down below in the link, or you can text the phone number down below to schedule some therapy or coaching. So thanks again to Inovo, and let's jump into the episode. So by the end of this video, I hope you'll understand, one, why pornography can pull so hard and why it just keeps coming back and you can't let it go. Two, why your life, or real life in general, feels so dull. And three, how you can actually calm your nervous system down without just white knuckling it, right? That's something we see pretty common. You feel like you just have to get to a certain amount of days, then all of a sudden the porn problem will be gone. Let's say you go 100 days sober and boom, porn will be gone. Like, would be nice, but generally that's not how it works. Or recently I've seen, I've seen something called faith-based hypnosis going around. It's gonna cure your addiction in 1 to 3 sessions. How exciting is that? And how unrealistic. Great for marketing. I think I've talked about that before too. I need to do a full episode on that. I try not to be involved in a ton of drama, but sometimes can't help myself. I can't help it. So we might talk about that later. So let's break the nervous system down into 2 parts. You have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And so for the sake of this episode, you can think of the sympathetic nervous system as the gas pedal and the parasympathetic nervous system as the brake in a car. So the sympathetic nervous system is created for things like action, survival, pursuit, and focus. And it turns on when there are things like stress, threats, excitement, sexual arousal. Oh, you see where we're going with this? Maybe going to porn. And things like overall novelty. So when the sympathetic nervous system does get engaged, or it turns on, you're going to have things like your heart's racing, your breath becomes more shallow and fast, right? Like you're going to start getting ready to run away from the saber-toothed tiger. Your muscles start to tense, and you have dopamine and adrenaline that's going to start flooding the system. Now the parasympathetic nervous system is like the brake pedal. And this is for things, this is for things like rest, digestion, connection, and repair. So when it turns on, you feel things like safety, you feel calm, you feel there's a trusted connection, there's slower breathing, kind of the exact opposite, for the most part, to the the sympathetic nervous system. So now, knowing that, coming back to the whole idea of porn affecting the nervous system, you can think of, porn essentially just puts down the gas pedal to the floor, okay, without really any regulation. So gas pedal, no brakes. And when there aren't really any brakes going on and you are just revving your car, right? And your car could actually even be in neutral. So it's as if car's in neutral, revving your engine, just totally to the floor. If you do that for a long time, it's gonna end up hurting your engine. Okay, I'm no mechanic, but I think that would hurt your engine. And so similar here with pornography, the more you watch it, the more damage it can do. Now, don't get me wrong, thinking, oh my gosh, I watch porn like once a month. My brain is totally damaged. That's not really how it works. Okay, it's obviously different for everybody. And what's interesting, and we can talk more about this later, but what we've been finding is that the harm or the damage that comes from pornography is more on your actual belief of pornography itself rather than pornography. Now, please don't take this as an excuse to say, oh my gosh, do you hear that? I now believe that porn is good for me, so I'm gonna go watch it and indulge in what I want without any negative side effects. Because obviously there are different reasons or different ways that pornography can be harmful. I'm just saying, cool stuff coming out. I'm not promoting pornography in any way. If that's what you think, 50 episodes in, I'm sorry. I'm not promoting. You've gotten the wrong idea here. But anyway, I digress. We move forward. So porn is, again, gas pedal on the floor, car's in neutral, just revving your engine, car's not going anywhere, nothing's happening. Okay, there's no regulation to any of it. Now, what's important to understand about dopamine is dopamine doesn't mean pleasure. Dopamine generally means pursuit. Dopamine, a lot of people think that to get the hit of dopamine, right, you have to actually engage in the action. So whether you're watching porn, whether you're smoking, whether you're doom scrolling on Instagram, and in fact, that's also a reason why it's so addicting. But dopamine is a part of the pursuit, okay? So dopamine, generally some of the biggest hits come from right before you're actually about to act out, because dopamine's trying to push you over the edge to actually go and do that thing. Dopamine's a motivator. It's there to push you to achieve what you want, to achieve your goals. Obviously, being addicted to pornography is probably not your goal. If it is, again, you might be watching the wrong podcast. But if, at least to your brain, to your subconscious mind, it might think that is the goal, right? Because if we want to feel happy, if you want to feel good, and what you've been doing in the past has been working, which is watching pornography, then why not? That's probably going to be your brain's goal, right? So it's going to use all this dopamine to push you to achieve that. And this is why pornography is so addicting, because it never ends. You have a new video, new body, new angle, new story. Anything that you think of, you can probably find. So your nervous system this entire time, it's not relaxing. It's hunting. It's trying to find the best video, the best way to get that hit, right? Hit. Even though you are getting this hit, my brother, as you're going to each video time and time again. And that's why generally you're not going to watch a video all the way through, because you get bored, tired, your brain's like, next one, next one, next one. And it keeps releasing that dopamine to try and find the next one to eventually be satisfied, which it never does. It never is. So, important thing to know, dopamine spikes with novelty, not necessarily the actual achievement of what you're pursuing. And so you might find yourself saying, oh man, like I don't even enjoy it anymore. And that can mean you have nervous system fatigue. So if porn stopped working for you, that's actually part of the problem. So a little metaphor, think sunburn. At first, everything is really sensitive, and then it becomes numb. And so even to feel something, you sit into a really hot shower, a really cold shower. Your brain adapts really fast to things that actually happen. And so it doesn't take long to form this dependency on pornography to even feel something. Because doing the regular mundane things of life just feel extra boring now. Because your brain is so used to having this gas pedal floored 24/7, so then when you try and regulate it and it's not, it's like, whoa, brother, what are we doing? We're trying to feel some excitement here. Come on. And puts it right back to the floor. So that brings me to my next thing here, is that porn isn't just about arousal. It's about regulation. So your brain has learned that when you feel stress, go to porn. When you feel loneliness, go to porn. When you feel shame, go to porn. When you're overwhelmed, go to porn. Your nervous system has just learned, when I feel this, I go there. So listen to this. It's not about weakness. It's not about having a lack of willpower. It's about conditioning. You've simply conditioned yourself to act this way. So Generally, willpower fails because you cannot outthink a dysregulated nervous system. When your body is essentially upshifted, right, full gas pedal to the floor, it's really hard to bring logic into that. Logic just generally doesn't land. So when you do have a really strong urge, the gas pedal is to the floor, what do? Well, first we have to lay off the gas a little bit. We need to have regulation first and then decide second. So if porn revs the engine in all of this, then recovery is about learning to apply the brakes and really getting better brakes in general. Because depending on how long this has been going on for you, you may not even have brakes anymore, bro. You may not. But the good thing about this is that you can put on new brakes. Okay, you can go to things like AutoZone, which is therapy, O'Reilly's, buy some new brakes there, which is group therapy. Or what are some other ways? Spending time with other people, which is Discount Tire. This is brought to you by all of these, by the way. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be cool? Sponsored by AutoZone. Anyway. So recovery is about building better brakes. It's not about white knuckling and just cold turkey and all of that. Okay. So here are a couple ways that you can start to apply the brake and to let off the gas a little bit. First is you can do what's called box breathing, or what else would you call it? Long inhales and exhales. It's mainly called box breathing. That's when you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then you repeat. You see how it makes a little 4-second box? It's cute. You can also put cold water on your face. Okay, now this isn't like the Ashton Hall stuff going on right now with the whatever that is. 4 a.m. wake up, put ice water on your face. Okay, it's not about that. But he might be onto something there. Might be onto something. Or you can do things like drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, start to actually relax, and you can do that with some box breathing as well. So the whole point of this is to activate your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve plays a really big role in the parasympathetic nervous system, or your brakes. Now, I'm not saying that, you're not going to have a slip if you do this stuff, but it's going to help when it comes to trying to apply those brakes. It's better than not having any brakes at all, dude. And the more you practice, the better it's going to get. Second thing you can try is to just delay the urge. There are peaks and there are valleys, and generally they don't need answers. You don't have to immediately answer them. They just need some time. So you can take a break for 10 minutes, stop what you're doing, obviously if that's possible. Take a break, change the room that you're in, change your posture. I'm going to talk about this all the time, right? It's not about trying to not PMO. It's about setting a goal or setting a goal to do something when you do have an urge. That's the goal. It's to retrain this nervous system, right? Instead of saying, when your nervous system thinks, when I feel stressed, I go to porn. Instead, when I feel stressed, I get up and take a 10-minute walk, go get a drink, go into the other room where my wife is, or where my kids are, where my roommates are, whatever. It's about literally getting up and changing and doing something other than just following through with the urge. And then just changing the way that you talk to yourself, man. Changing this belief that you have about yourself, rather than saying, oh man, I'm broken, or oh, I'm failing again. Just say things like, oh man, my nervous system is activated right now. My sympathetic nervous system. It's going hard right now, literally. So listen, dude, your nervous system learned this habit, learned porn, which means it can unlearn it. That's all this is. That's all recovery is. That's all change is. It's learning something new, training your brain to do something else when you feel a certain way. This isn't about just becoming numb. It's about becoming regulated, becoming able to feel again. So when it comes to actually overcoming pornography, you don't need control. You don't need to control this urge. What you need to do is just simply start to train or reactivate your parasympathetic nervous system when you got full gas on the pedal. So it's not necessarily about control, it's about safety in your own body and learning where these urges are actually coming from and why. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just your nervous system that is trained to do what you have taught it, which is not on purpose. Thank you guys for listening. If it was helpful, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And if there is something you do want me to talk more on or take a deeper dive on, then leave it down below in the comments for real and let me know, and we'll do an episode on it. Okay, you guys are awesome. Talk to you in the next episode.